Clope and Minster welcomes you to this broadcast of high school boys varsity basketball on NKTelco Sports. We're at Minster Gymnasium where the Lima Perry Commodores will take on the Minster Wildcats. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors: Crown Equipment Corporation, First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Winners Meats, Sydney All Glaze Audiology, Precision Strip, Wagner's IGA Borchers Floor Center, and NKTelco. Once again, we're at Minster Gymnasium. I'm Dave Canapsey. It's my pleasure to bring you this varsity game between the Wildcats and the Perry Commodores. Perry Commodores are 10-2, 2-0 in the NWCC, but been a little bit of a turmoil the last week. Head coach Clay Tucker resigned for personal reasons last week. Assistant Mark Hurston takes over. Tucker had just replaced Matt Tabler, who was very successful the last 14 years. He was 2-9 and 114. They were supposed to play Upper Sauter Valley last Friday, and that was postponed due to COVID reasons. Their last game was way back on January 8th, where they lost against LCC. Their schedule has gone like this. They won their season opener against Pandora Gilboa. They lost to Ottoville by 7 in the second game. Then they had a 9-game winning streak. And then they lost to LCC a week ago Saturday. They're 4-0 against the WBL. They beat Shawnee, a very good team, by 20, Elida by 39, Walpock by 3, and Kenton by 24. Very high-scoring team. They've had one game in the 90s, one in the 80s, 4 in the 70s. Their leading scorer is Bubby Knight. He scored 39 to win over Shawnee. He's the returning NWCC Player of the Year. For the Wildcats, they're 4-10, 1-4 in the MAC. They're coming off 2 wins in a row. Good weekend for them as they came from behind to beat New Knoxville 42-39. Then the MLK Classic on Sunday, they beat Crestview, a Crestview team that was 10-3 going into the game. They beat them in overtime, 48-45. So Wildcats trying to keep their momentum going. Lima Perry as well trying to keep their going. They've been off for over a week now. So this is the 8th meeting between these two schools. Minster leads the series 4-3. Lima Perry won last year by a couple points. Minster won the 2 times before that back in 2020.
Lift your career to new heights with Crown, an innovative global leader in the material handling industry with over a 75-year history of growth and success. We're seeking career-minded candidates for a wide variety of entry-level and skilled positions in our new Bremen, New Knoxville, Salina, Minster, and other U.S. locations. Visit crown.jobs to apply or find us on social media by searching Careers at Crown.
Clope Corporation, America's favorite garage door, is now hiring for all manufacturing and over-the-road Class A CDL driving positions. Clope is the largest residential garage door manufacturer in North America, and we are continuing to grow. Join our team and work in a safe, clean, modern environment. Clope offers a great benefits package as an equal opportunity employer and a drug-free work environment. Imagine the possibilities when you open the door to your career at clope.com/careers.
Are you looking for a new career with amazing growth potential? NKTelco Press and Automation is hiring for many positions right now. NKTelco is a global company that is growing with its sights on being a billion-dollar company. Machinists, service technicians, human resource personnel, IT specialists, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, and many more. The opportunities abound at NKTelco Press and Automation. Go to minsterjobs.com now to get started on your new career with NKTelco.
JV game was won big time by Minster, 64-20. 3 players in double figures led by Logan Cooney had 18 points. Also in double figures, Cole Richard and also Ian Homewood, 3 players in double figures. So now here we go. The starting line is brought to you by Sydney All Glaze Audiology. Leading us off for the Commodores, number 0, Bubby Knight. Terry Riley. Number 2, Will Knight, another senior. 7 seniors on this team. Number 4, Aiden Simpson, a 6'2 junior. Now at the lineup, Ryan Yinks, 6'3 senior. Head coach Mark Hurston, head coach. So 4 seniors, that's Knight, Riley, Knight, and Yinks, and the only junior, Aiden Simpson. The Commodores of Lima Perry, 10-2 on the season. So as they dim the lights here in Minster, fire up the music, and we will have the starting lineup. Sydney, also sponsored by Sydney Allglaze Audiology. Starting us off, number 22, a 6-foot freshman, James Niemeyer, averages 4 points a game. Brogan Steffi, leading scorer at 13 points a game, a 6-foot freshman. Number 2, a 6-foot senior, Austin Wellman. Devin Whipker, a 6'1 junior. And rounding out the lineup, a 6'4 senior, Johnny Nixon, number 20, averages 9 points and 8 rebounds. Head coach for the Wildcats, Michael McClurg. So for the Wildcats, you have Wellman, Steffi, Whipker, Niemeyer, and Nixon. 5 starters. Now, let's give us a chance for our keys to the game, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. First, for the Perry Commodores, they want to push the tempo. In order to push the tempo, they want to feed that with some turnovers. But they need to have good shot selection. Don't rush the shot. It takes good shots. For the Wildcats, they're going to be tested by their defense. They play pretty good defense. They tested a high-scoring Perry team. They need to rebound well, and they need to avoid the scoring droughts. That's been a problem for the Wildcats all year. Sometimes they'll go 3, 4, 5 minutes without scoring. They can't afford that against a high-scoring Perry team. And we are underway. Glad you joined us here on NKT.TV. Brogan Steffi with the basketball. Gives it up to Nixon. Those two are mainly where the offense goes. Steffi with the 3, rattles out. Rebounding. Perry will push the tempo, and they quickly ahead. There to Aiden Simpson, the first 2 points. Traditionally, Perry's been a up-tempo, and they definitely showed that as they did the fast break. Steffi being guarded there by Terry Riley, now to Nixon. All the way across to Niemeyer. Wildcats start 2 freshmen, 2 seniors, and junior. Whipker, the only junior. Nixon, the senior, along with Wellman, just came up with the basketball. Pretty intense man-to-man defense. Steffi was open for a 3. Back to Wellman. Steffi thought about a 3. Back to Nixon. Nixon's more the post presence, and Perry's pretty happy with their defensive possession here. So Wildcats have had to burn about 45 seconds off the clock. That will be a kick there by Riley. And Perry, very intense here, very well rested. They didn't play since a week ago, back on January 8th. So what would that be? 10 days ago was the last time they played. They lost by 2 to LCC. Underneath to Nixon in the post. And in. Good entry pass there. Nixon ties us up at 2 on our First National Bank scoreboard. First National Bank, think first. Wildcats playing the man-to-man defense. There's Bubby Knight. He'll let the long 3 go. His back iron. Rebounded by Perry. Shot up by Simpson. Ball on the floor, and we will have a jump ball. Alternate possession. We'll keep it with the Commodores. Underneath it'll go to Aiden Simpson. seems to be their post player, and that is off of Yinks. That'll be a turnover to go to the Wildcats. Wildcats' best chance if they can keep Perry to a half-court game work much better for the Wildcats as they don't want to run with the Commodores. Webker, and he has his trips, falls, and Riley just picks it up and goes in for the uncontested layup. Here's a full court pressure. Minster has to handle this. Pass to Webker. Devin gives it up to Steffi. Steffi, the leading scorer at 13 points a game. Then you have Nixon at 9, Webker at 6, and there'll be a reach-in foul on Terry Riley, first of the game. Senior Zach Fortman will enter the lineup, 6'5" senior. Tallest player on the floor tonight. Devin Webker takes a break. Those two have been kind of alternating as the 5th starter in this lineup. Exchange student 6'4" junior Noah Peepery sprained his MCL a few games ago. He's out 4 to 6 weeks, so that hurts their depth. Shot up. Steffi had to alter it. There's a turnover in the backcourt by Wellman. Shot up by Nixon, banks it home. Nice job there by Niemeyer, had the tip, and the steal came by Wellman, and we were tied at 4. 4-4 in our first National League score. There's Bubby Knight, NWCC Player of the Year from last year. He can put up a lot of points. Almost lose the handle. They kick it out into the corner. It goes through Riley's hands. 3rd turnover already on Perry. 4-4. Perry's had 2 fast break baskets so far. Minster's had 2 baskets by Nixon. A triple team Steffi, and Yinks with the steal. Shot by Riley, short on the 3, able to get the long rebound. Shot up by Knight, and Bubby Knight knocks down the tray. Seven to 4, Perry. Shot out by Steffi, and he drains it. Perry Steffi with those first 2 points. He's had 2 games in the 30s and has a 30-point game against Parkway a week ago Friday. Pass ahead shot by Simpson. Rebound by one of the shortest players on the floor. It's Austin Wellman. Niemeyer gives it up to Steffi. Fortman down to Wellman. Instant traffic. It's blocked. It rolls off his back and out of bounds. A tough break there by the senior Wellman. In the game, we have number 24, Brady Yinks, and also number 12, Joey Hurston. 3:44 to go here in the first quarter. I'm Dave Kanapke. It's my pleasure to bring you tonight's game between Perry and Minster. 8th meeting all time. They've kind of resurrected this series. I think it's the 3rd year in a row they've played. Shot up. Simpson's shot rolls too strong, able to get the rebound. They go into the corner. Knight with a shot. Yinks. There's Simpson to the hole. And we had a player down. Bubby Knight was hurt in the corner. The whistle blew. The referee blew a whistle dead. I don't know if he landed wrong or what happened exactly, as he's going to limp off into the hallway. We're head towards the locker room. I didn't see what happened. Must have fell awkwardly or some type. Devin Webker checks back in, and Terry Riley will take Bubby Knight's spot. So definitely a loss for the Commodores, as Bubby Knight, the best player, highest leading scorer for the Commodores. Brady Yinks will inbound it to Riley. Hurston thought about it, now to Riley. See how their offense goes here. Yeah. Riley, Simpson, to Yanks, and there's a steal. And miscommunication there as Webker tried to kick it out to Steffi and led him too far. Fourth turnover on the Wildcats. Check that second turnover. Compared to 3 for the Commodores. Brady Yanks in a little bit of trouble all the way across. It's stolen by Nixon. He'll give it to Webker. To Niemeyer. Misses the layup. Nixon with the rebound and is fouled. So Minster causing some turnovers for Perry. Brady Yanks with the foul. Coach Hurston will call a timeout. His team leads by 1. Gives us an opportunity to let you know tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors: Crown Equipment, First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Winners Meats, Sydney Allglaze Audiology, Precision Strip, Wagner's IGA, Borchers Floor Center, and NKTelco are fine sponsors tonight. You can follow WCSM AM 1350, 96.7 FM, and in their internet exclusive games on WCSMradio.com all season. Your sports leader in Mercer and Allglaze County, WCSM Radio. 2:33 to go first quarter on our First National Bank scoreboard. Lima Perry leads by 1. Their leading scorer, Bubby Knight, left the contest probably less than a minute to go on the clock, on the game clock, I should say. Hopefully he's okay. Pass to Fortman, too strong on the bank shot. Ryan Yanks comes up with a rebound. Terry Riley trying to drive on Niemeyer. It's Joey Hurston, a long 3. Nixon with the board. Steffi trying to find an opening. That's kicked away or off of his foot. Turnover gives it to Perry. Perry's had 2 fast break layups, and then they had a 3 by Bubby Knight for their 7 points. Turnaround by Hurston is short. Knocked out of bounds by Steffi. Cottle in the game, Elijah Cottle. .148 to go. Hasn't been a lot of scoring the last few possessions for either team. Terry Riley being the playmaker now with Bubby Knight out. Spin move at the elbow. Rebound Nixon. Steffi gives it up to Nima, back to Steffi. Portland trying to post up. Now Niemeyer will try and draw the foul. Foul on 24, Brady Yingst. To Will Knight will check back in the lineup, replacing Yingst. Steffi will inbound it. Wildcats down by 1. Steffi, the leading scorer, usually the playmaker on most possessions. Occasionally, Webker will run the offense. That is tipped out of bounds, so stay with the Cats. Cats 4-10 on this season. Their wins have come against Anna, Houston, and 2 more in the last 2 games, New Knoxville and Crestview. Crestview, the best win of the season. Crestview was 10-3 before they knocked them off in overtime in the MLK Classic. Niemeyer steps on the line for the 4th turnover on Minster. And Lima Perry, a very high-scoring team. 4 games in the 70s, 1 in the 80s, and 1 90-point game. As Riley will drive. Looks like Bubby Knight's going to check back in the lineup. Good to see him come back in. Came in from the locker room. Knight will inbound it. Riley will take a break. Underneath is Caudle. Drive to the basket and in. Nice smooth move. Will Knight with a basket. A nice move. Extend the lead for Perry to 3. Niemeyer has a lane to the hole. And nice shot by the freshman. This game's really picked up as the season has gone on. Good athletic shot. Wildcats within 1. Simpson drives baseline, hands it off. Caudle with the basket. The offense has picked up the last few possessions. Steffi to the hoop. Can't finish. Fortman battling for the rebound. Niemeyer comes up with it. And that will end the first quarter of play. 3 chances there for the Wildcats. Couldn't connect. Good first quarter of basketball on our First National Bank scoreboard. Perry 11, Minster 8. You're watching high school basketball on NKTelco Sports.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
1 quarter in the books here at Minster Gymnasium as the Perry Commodores lead 11-8 on our First National Bank scoreboard. Here's our Wagner's IGA stats and recap. Perry Commodores have had 5 players scored. Bobby Knight with 3, and then Riley, Will Knight, Simpson, and Caudle with 2. Minster with 3 players scored, led by Johnny Nixon with 4. Steffi and Niemeyer with 2 apiece. We have yet to shoot a free throw. Steffi's 3 off the mark. Webker came up with it, now Niemeyer. Webker's open, loses the handle. Now Nixon. We have yet to shoot a free throw, both teams with 4 turnovers apiece. That's our Wagner's IGA stats and recap. Lob into Nixon to Fortman. Steffi, runner in the lane, rolls in. Steffi now with 4. Perry's lead to 1. Bubby Knight, a long 3. Nixon chases down the rebound. He has 8 of them per game, among the league leaders in the MAC. Only returning starter on this team that won the MAC last year. Pass to Webker, he will drive, and we will have our first foul shots. And I think we got a technical on that. After that, when Riley did not agree with the call, so Riley will see, Devin Webker will shoot 2 foul shots, and then we'll have 2 technical shots. So that will be foul number 1 and 2 on Riley. This will be the 2 shots here, the regular shots here with Devin Webker. Webker averaging 6.4 on the season, hits the first one. Wildcats have improved their foul shooting as a team. They're up to 58%. It was much worse than that for a while. Webker's going to just stay at the line. He's got the groove going. Looks like he's about the leading foul shooter on the team at 68. Why not? It's working pretty good. So James Niemeyer at 79. He had 6 big free throws late in the game against Presby, but Devin Webker just drains 4 in a row, and the Wildcats take a 3-point lead on the 2 foul shots and then the technical on Terry Riley. So Wildcats also get the ball through that, so they can make this a 6-point possession. Steffi gives it up to Webker. Devin drives, kicks it out. Steffi not able to get the shot off. Up to Nixon. Work it around the perimeter. Drive to the hoop. Step back, rolls off. Ricochets around a few people. Niemeyer comes up with it. Now to Webker. He's shooting a lot of offensive possessions. Had a few offensive rebounds. Nixon not able to on the spin move there as 3-pointer off the mark by Zach Fortman. Knight gives it up to Simpson. Reverse layup blocked by Nixon. What a play. Great defensive play there by Nixon as Aiden Simpson was going to go for the reverse layup. Nixon put his left hand up and blocked it. Fortman's open for the 12-footer and he knocks it down. Zach Fortman gives the Wildcats a 5-point lead, 16-11. Wildcats are they have had an 8-0 run here to start the second quarter after Perry led 11-8 after 1. Debbie Knight working off a screen. He's been quiet other than a 3 that he hit early, and then he left was injured for a little bit, but he seems to be fine now. Hurston gives it up to Knight. He'll try the 3 again. Rebound is Nixon. Steffi head to Niemeyer. 3. That will go off of Devin Webker's hands, and long rebound goes to the Commodores. Commodores again 10-2, 2-0 in the NWCC. NWCC right now is led by Ridgemont at 3-0. Upper Soda Valley and Perry at 2-0. Elgin at 2-1, followed by Hardin Northern at 1-2. The other 3 teams in the league: Ridgedale, Lima Temple Christian, and Waynesfield Goshen trying to get their first league win. There's Simpson, Bubby Knight, Ryan Yingst. Nice drive to the basket by Hurston, and he draws the foul. Joey Hurston, 5'11 senior, will shoot 2 foul shots. The first foul shots for Perry as Zach Portman draws his first foul. Hurston knocks that one down. He's one of 7 seniors on this team. 4 of them were in the starting lineup. Definitely a senior dominant team. Misses it, but a rebound by Yinks. That'll be a foul on Minster. Johnny Nixon picks up his first foul. Only 3 fouls on Minster so far. Perry has 5. Yinks almost loses it. Puts a shot up off of Nixon. Banks rolls off. Did not get the home roll. Minster with the ball with a 4-point lead. About halfway through this second quarter. Webker hands it off to Niemeyer. They work it around. Niemeyer's open. Fakes and is swatted away there by Aiden Simpson. Or Will Knight, I should say, number 2. There's Bubby Knight. Will Knight tried to put it in. Simpson will follow. Aiden Simpson with the basket. Coach McClurg says we're going to break this momentum a little bit. As is a full-time out on the floor, sponsored by Precision Strip. You're watching high school basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Allglaze and Sydney Audiology are committed to providing the most advanced and affordable hearing care solutions.
Did you know that more and more insurances are offering coverage for hearing aids and that we are the most comprehensive provider in the area?
Because we want to serve all in our community, we partner with agencies such as Medicaid, OOD, Sertoma, and most recently the VA helping our veterans find local solutions to their problems.
Don't leave unused benefits on the table this year. Call us today to see if you qualify.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Crown Equipment Corporation. Grand Lake Health.
See the Minster cheerleading squad. Cheer coach is Tanya Niemeyer. Some very athletic girls that can really tumble on this cheerleading squad. A lot of energy. Coach Niemeyer does a nice job of coaching these girls. We'll be honoring some senior athletes at halftime. The ones that don't play basketball, mainly the bowling and swimming athletes, the seniors. So good time to recognize them. They put in the work as well. Coming out of the Precision Strip timeout, Minster with the ball. Webker almost got it stolen twice. Ends up back to Niemeyer. Fortman as Perry's picking up the pressure, and that's going to be an over the back. Steffi tried to save it. 6 turnover on Minster. 24 Brady Yanks in the game. Bubby Knight. There's Will Knight. Ryan Yingst to Brady Yingst. Drive to the hoop. Bubby Knight. He has 5 to lead the Commodores. We are tied at 16. 16-16. Wepker in a little bit of trouble there. Guarded by Knight to Steffi. Has to pick up his dribble, and that's tipped away. Yinks comes up with it. It's a good defense there by the Commodores. Yinks to Simpson. Misses on the 3. Pass ahead to Niemeyer. Minster being cautious and running. They don't want to get into a running game. There's another turnover on the Wildcats. Pass ahead, Brady Yanks loses a handle and he gives it right back. Steffi to Wellman. Wellman loses it. Back to Webker with a corner 3. Wellman with the rebound. Steffi with a long 3. That is short. Battle for the rebound, and Yinks comes up with it. Up ahead to Knight. This is the pace that Commodores want to play at. Nice drive to the hoop. Brady Yinks. Coach McClure calls a timeout. Does not like some things that are happening on the defensive end. And we'll see it will be a 30-second timeout. Gives us an opportunity to let you know that NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays on tonight's high school basketball action on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Replay times are Monday the 24th at 9 p.m. and Sunday, January 30th at 12 p.m. After that, they automatically go to YouTube. If you want to watch any of the games this season, also in the volleyball season, they are also on YouTube. Just do a little search on YouTube. Be able to find this game and all the games that we have on our NKTelco schedule. 1:49 to go. Out of this Precision Strip timeout, Minster now finds themselves down by 2. Minster started this quarter in an 8-0 run, but now Perry is at a 7-0 run, and there is another turnover. We're down up to 8 turnovers to a Minster. And we'll have a jump ball. Niemeyer did a nice job of tying it up. It will stay with Perry, but remember that the next time, Portland will check back in. Minster only a 6-player rotation. Noah Piperi out with an MCL. Occasionally, Cole Richard or Logan Cooney will play a little bit, but pretty well it's the 6 Iron Men. A lot of these players do not leave the floor. Right now, Perry, and that ball just goes right through the hands of Ryan Yanks. It was unforced turnovers, just bad luck, so to speak, because it just slipped through the hands. Minster with the ball, down by 2, 1:20 to go, first quarter. Kicking out the corner, Webker can't hit the 3, able to get his own rebound, up and under and in. Good hustle by Devin Webker. We are tied at 18. Will Knight, off-balance shot, crashing the boards, and we'll have a jump ball. This will go to the Minster. So remember that hustle play before Niemeyer tied up Perry. Now this jump ball goes to Minster. Under a minute to go. They're trying to double team Steffi here, and it's tipped away. Knight to the basket. Good double team by Simpson and Bubby Knight. Steffi made the mistake of trying to pass over them. It was tipped away by Simpson. Foul on Steffi, his first. So 2 shots coming up here by Bubby Knight. NWCC Player of the Year from last year. Goes in and out on his first attempt. Joey Hurston comes in. Nice 7-player rotation. I think they played 8 players with Cottle. Swishes the second one. Perry up by 1. Again, full court pressure. Booker, a nice job with the ball fake. Now to Steffi. This is going to get close to the 10-second count, and it is. 10-second count. 10 turnovers by Minster. 6 of them in this quarter, and a lot of them in the last couple minutes. Minster is being patient there, but there's a balance between being patient and you have to be assertive there, and Perry turns them over. We'll see if the Commodores will go for the last shot. It's like Bubby Knight's trying to do that close to the mid-court stripe, guarded by Niemeyer. Knight down to 8 seconds. They look like they'll clear out for him as they try to double team him. And we'll have a moving screen on the play on Brady Yanks. So all that results in the turnover against the Commodores, and the Wildcats will have the ball close to midcourt with 4.6 seconds to go. Fortman to Wepker. Wepker will run through the lane. Just short on that. Good attempt. But we go to the halftime. On your First National Bank scoreboard, Perry 19, Minster 18. We'll be back to wrap up with their stats and recap. Also watch, and they'll be doing a presentation. They'll be honoring the 12 seniors that coming from the swimmers and also the bowlers. So you can just give a listen. I just let the PA keep over. Jamie Wolf on the PA today.
Let's meet some of our seniors and their parents.
I'll try to mention the names as I go along here. Starting from the right side. Alex Albers. Russell Hyde. Next one, as you see him. Looks like the parents are stepping ahead, but no parents. Alex Stallman, I believe.
the bowlers.
Brian Schmeezy, the bowling head coach, will introduce his seniors. It's Emma Gubo, it looks like. Cora High Camp. Colleen Peppelman's your next. Owen Barhorst. Riley High Camp. Tanner Waskell, I believe. Caleb Keys, next senior. Eli Renner, our last senior here tonight. There's your 12 seniors from the bowling and swimming teams.
Round of applause for these student athletes for everybody attending Minster School for class.
And the 12 seniors from swimming and bowling. That'll end the ceremony, and we'll be back with the stats and recap for the first half in about 4 minutes here on NKTelco Sports.
Wagner's IGA has been servicing their communities for more than 95 years, spanning 3 generations. Wagner's founded their business on 2 basic principles: excellent customer service and quality products. Visit all our locations and experience the finest selection of deli, fresh meats, and variety of beverage choices. While there, don't forget to check out our vast selection of fresh coffee beans, produce, dairy, and bakery items. Visit Wagner's today in Minster, Fort Laramie, and New Bremen, and check us out on Facebook.
Kemmler Orthopedic Center is focused on a personalized, caring approach to treat all aspects of orthopedics, including total joint replacement, shoulder reconstruction, stem cell injections, and more. Dr. James Kemmler and Jed Cooney, certified PA, are dedicated to providing the best orthopedic care in the Grand Lake region. Kemmler Orthopedic Center has offices located in Salina and Van Wert, along with extended evening hours. To schedule an appointment, call our office at 419-586-5760.
We are here, and here, and here. Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Kogi Plumbing and Heating is your Bryant Factory authorized dealer. We have brought the best of comfort, control, and plumbing services to the St. Mary's area for over 60 years. We have been Reader's Choice winners for the last 4 years running and excel at providing our customers with efficient and reliable heating and air conditioning, as well as responsive service when a plumbing emergency arises. We insist that the products we install in our customers' homes and businesses offer the same performance and value that we expect ourselves. Call today for your next plumbing and heating or air conditioning needs. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Welcome back. We're at halftime here, Minster Gymnasium. Good basketball game as the Perry Commodores are leading the Minster Wildcats 19-18 on our First National Bank scoreboard. Commodores have had 7 of their 8 players score in the first half, led by Bubby Knight with 6, Aiden Simpson with 4, and a lot of players with 2 points. Terry Riley, Will Knight, Elijah Cottle, Brady Yinks with 2, and Joey Hurston with a free throw for their total of 19 points. For Minster, they've had 5 players score, led by Devin Wepker with 6 points, Johnny Nixon and Brogan Steffi with 4, James Niemeyer and Zach Portman with 2 points apiece. The Wildcats are a perfect 4 of 4 from the free throw line, or more specifically, Devin Wepker was a perfect 4 of 4 as he shot 4 in a row. Two shots in a row and then a technical, where the Commodores are 2 of 4 on their free throws. Turnover tell a story. 7 turnovers for Perry, 10 for Minster. A lot of those late in the second quarter. It was an odd second quarter as Minster went on an 8-0 run, and then Perry went out for a 7-0 run, and ended up Perry leads by 1 at halftime. Perry 10-2, 2-0 in the NWCC. Minster 4-10, coming off of 2 wins in a row last weekend, 1-4 in the MAC. Talked about the NWCC standings. We'll have to check the MAC standings when we get a chance. Right now we have 2 undefeated teams, but right now we're back to live action. Bubby Knight, pull-up jumper off the front of the rim. Devin Wepker with a rebound. Push it ahead to Wellman. All the way over. Niemeyer to the hoop. That is short. A little bit of collision. Wellman comes up with it and sticks it in. Austin Wellman. It's like, look what I found, and nobody found him. Puts in the basket. Wildcats take the lead. Underneath Simpson, reverse layup, spins off. For a nice follow by Aiden Simpson. Nice soft touch there in the lane. Gives the lead back to Perry. 21-20. Again, that is a halftime stats and recap brought to you all season by Wagner's IGA here in Minster, Ohio. Steffi trying to set up for the screen, but Will Knight was there. Wepker tries to drive behind Wellman. He stepped in the backcourt, but it was tipped there. Niemeyer with the basketball. Steffi not able to get that shot off as Will Knight is right there. Wellman has to move pretty quickly. They hand it to Steffi. Almost went into the backcourt. He was close to that. Very close to the midcourt stripe. Able to get it to Nixon. Minster had one of these possessions early in the game where they took them a long time before they were able to do anything. This time they drew a foul on Perry. Ryan Yinks, his second foul. Let's see, it looks like the Wildcats have their 5 starters that they started with. That'd be Wellman, Niemeyer, Steffi, Wepker, and Nixon. Well, Nixon able to break away. Nixon was 6. For the Commodores, you have Knight, Riley, Yinks, and Simpson. Same 5 starters to start the game. There's Riley open for the tray, and he knocks it down. Terry Riley with the tray, and I don't know what they called there. And they will be the second technical on Riley. As he hit the three, I don't know if he had some type of gesture or something, but that would be a technical, and I think he's out with the second foul. I'm not sure what was said. I looked away after he hit the three. Brogan Steffi will go to the line to shoot the technicals this time. And wow, after the three, Steffi a chance to tie it up. As he hits the first one. Bench is pretty upset for the Commodores. Steffi able to tie it up with two technical foul shots. So that's two technicals from Terry Riley, and I think he's gone. He's on the bench. He doesn't leave, but I do not know what happened. He now has 3 fouls, and 2 of those are technical fouls. And there's a tip into the backcourt. Bubby Knight can't finish the layup. The Wildcats are starting to build confidence as they're realizing they can play with this team if they play solid defense and don't turn it over. Easier said than done. Niemeyer tried to pass it through traffic. It was kicked away. It will stay with the Wildcats. Lob to Nixon. Knocked away. And Yinks slams it down. Ryan Yinks puts it down off the steal. He just flat out elevated for the slam. Let's put a star by that one as Ryan Yinks. It's a nice way to get your second or your first points of the game. There's a lob to Simpson and in. It's Perry basketball here as they're converting turnovers into points. Wildcats have to be careful here, and as Webker is wide open, but that's stolen or tipped away by Yinks. I think Webker would have been better served if he just wanted to run strong to the basket instead of stopping and trying to fake. See if Minster can respond with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And Riley, he looked like he was going to go in. I'm not sure he's allowed to go in. Brady Yinks in the game, replacing Ryan Yinks. Don't know if they're related or not, but they're both seniors. Nixon, spin move, that's blocked. The defense there by Simpson. Will have a traveling in the backcourt on Yinks. He was double teamed in the backcourt. Turnover back to the Wildcats. 8 turnovers on Perry, 12 on the Wildcats. Steffi pull up, in. Brogan Steffi now with 8 points. Hurston will let the long 3 go. Chases down his miss. Up ahead to Bubby Knight. He will even do a longer 3. And that one is short as well. Wellman double teamed, and there's the steal. Up ahead to Bubby Knight. So they trap, get into the passing lane, and another layup. That's been accounted for maybe 10 of their points, I would say. Fast break baskets. Niemeyer to the hoop, and there's a foul. Draws the first foul on Aiden Simpson. James Niemeyer was 6 of 6 in foul shots in the fourth quarter and overtime. He had 10 points all in the second half, but he misses that one there. Second foul shot by Niemeyer. This is a pair. Perry quickly ahead. Hurston. This time he rattles home the 3. Joey Hurston The reason he was shooting those long threes is he can make them. Fortman, that's tipped back at him. Now is Steffi. Danger time for the Wildcats. They're down by 7. Steffi to the hoop, rolls off. Nixon comes up with it. Comes up with it again and puts it in. Johnny Nixon with 8. Good effort on 2 offensive rebounds there. Knight, pull-up move. Tried to tip it in. Nixon with the board. Lead at 5. It was 7. See if Minster can cut this into this slowly. Working through the offense. Steffi finds an opening. It's tipped away, and they will call a charge. Steffi lost the ball and kept going, and Bubby Knight took the charge. Second foul on Steffi. That'll make it a turnover. That's now 13 turnovers on Minster. So Perry with the ball and a 5-point lead. Hurston will now set it up. As Minster drops back to a zone, 2-3 zone. Hurston drives, rattles it in. Joey Hurston, 5 points quick here. Lead back to 7. Steffi cautiously across the timeline into Portman. And they tried to pass, but too late there, and Yinks with the steal. 14 turnovers on Minster, or let's say 14 turnovers caused by the Perry defense. Hurston with another 3. Joey Hurston lighting it up. Wow, Joey Hurston, 2 threes and a deuce. 8 points here in the third quarter, and Perry has broken open this game. They lead now 10 on our First National Bank scoreboard. Timeout by Minster. You're watching high school basketball on NKTelco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
Try to point out another time they get the opportunity, but right now Joey Hurston has sparked the Lima Perry Commodores. Talked about the MAC standings before. Versailles undefeated in the MAC at 5-0. They're undefeated overall, coming off a state championship in football. New Bremen 4-0. So those two teams on the collision course, and then you follow by Marion Local at 2-1, Fort Recovery 2-2, Delphos St. John and Parkway also 2-2, St. Henry 1-2, Minster at 1-4. They're defending MAC champions and will not repeat this year. It's been a bit of a rebuilding year as they lost 6 very good seniors off of last year's squad. All of them that played at the varsity level. Right now, Minster in some trouble. There's a dangerous pass, but Webker able to come up with it. Fortman to the basket and rattles it in. Zach Fortman, a nice move. Much needed basket for the Wildcats. Bobby Knight. There's Brady Yinks in the corner. And Hurston, now Yinks. Some big sparks off the bench. They've had 3 3-pointers between them. An 11-point lead. Pass to Webker. And that's blocked. That time by Ryan Yinks. He's a very good defensive post player, number 5, Ryan Yingst. Here comes Aiden Simpson back in lineup as Bubby Knight gets a break. Cats down by 11. It was a 1-point game at halftime, so it's been a 22-point quarter by Perry compared to 12 for Minster. 3-pointer from the corner. Devin Webker, he tries to steal in the backcourt, not able to. Hurston across the timeline. To the hole, and he's fouled. Joey Hurston really sparked Commodores here with 8 points in the third quarter. He has a chance for 2 foul shots here. Head coach Mark Hurston directing his team. Nothing but net there by Hurston, who's now in double figures with 10. Second one by Hurston. 43-30. That was a very close ball game. Perry has broken open here in the third quarter on their quickness and their shooting. Wepker, Niemeyer to the hole, swatted away, but a foul. Freshman James Niemeyer will go to the line. So we'll go over the keys again. The keys for Perry. Again, our keys to the game brought to you by Keyhole Pizza in Newport, Ohio. Their keys were they wanted to have tempo, they wanted to force turnovers, and take good shots. They've done all 3 of those. So Niemeyer hits the first foul shot. Minster needed to play good defense, and they generally have. They needed to rebound. It hasn't been too bad, but they need to avoid a scoring drought. Really, it's been their bugaboo is the turnovers that Perry has been able to cause in this game. As Niemeyer knocks down a pair, he has 4 tonight. Hurston's wide open for a 3, and the way he's shooting, that is short. Brady Yingst almost stole it from behind, but they'll say he was out of bounds. Wildcats trying to face this pressure again. Wildcats not a real explosive team on offense, so when they get behind, it's tough for them to come back. Only averaging on this season 42.5 points a game. They give up 51. Shoot 38% from the field. 30% on their threes. They average about 4 threes a game. So right now, you just have to take a possession at a time, and there is another steal to the hole. It's Cameron Moore. Played some JV tonight. It's Cameron Moore, a 5'10 junior. With 2. Misses the first. Perry has now had 9 different players play tonight. I think 8 of them have scored. Maybe 9 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All 9 have scored. And there's another steal. Dangerous pass there across court is Knight now with 10. And the Perry Commodores is blown open here in the third quarter. They score 27 points. As we go to the fourth quarter, they lead the Wildcats 46-32. We'll be back with the fourth quarter here on NKTelco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We are certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
Park National Bank, Cargill, St. Henry Bank, Chiltex LLC, Speedway Lanes.
To go to the fourth quarter, our Wagner's IJ stats and recap. Perry on fire there in the third quarter as they scored 27 points compared to 14 from Minster, which isn't a bad quarter, but a lot of turnovers. They forced 6 turnovers in that quarter, 16 of them were on the night. They only have 8 turnovers themselves. Free throw shooting, the Commodores are 5 of 8. Minster is 8 of 10. Devin Webker will drain the 3. Webker now with 9 points to lead the Wildcats. Commodores push the tempo on a long three by Bubby Knight. That's an NBA range. He was almost out of bounds. 49-35 as Perry has found their mark. And they're showing why they are a 10-2 team. Nixon to the hoop. And a block. Close play there is Yanks. Really played a night. Oh, this is Brady Yanks. Tried to draw the charge.
Foul Brady Yanks at the line for Minster. Nixon shooting 2.
Johnny Nixon. 3-sport athlete, plays football, basketball, and baseball. Very good pitcher. Hurt his shoulder in football, but they say he'll be all right to pitch this spring. Youngest of 5 in his family, and he's able to go 1 of 2 there. Wildcats trail by 13. There's Hurston again. Joey Hurston, unbelievable. 13 points in the second half. He has been on fire, as Vince Koza used to say. The late, great Vince Koza. Steffi trying to put up a shot. Rebound by Simpson. Pushing ahead, it's Smith. Bubby Smith. Corner 3 misses everything. That will go out of bounds. It'll be Minster ball. JV game was won big by the Wildcats. They won, let me see if I can double check it. I think it was 64-20. Logan Cooney with 18. Ian Holman with 15. Cole Richard with 14. And we got a running clock in the JV game. Niemeyer to Webker. There's a 3 by Nixon, a rare 3 shot attempt. I'll check the stats. He probably hasn't taken a whole bunch of them. Simpson short there. And there's another turnover as Will Smith comes up with it. Let's see, Nixon, that was his 5th three-pointer, and he's yet to make one of them. 3 ball off by Bubby Knight. Perry is taking control of the quickness, the passing lanes. And there's Bubby Knight in the corner, in and out. That will go out of bounds. I remember when these two teams played in the district over at Walpock. Perry, they were on their way to go to the state final, and they played Minster. A Minster team that was good. They probably won about 13, 14 games. And that Perry team was as quick as I've ever seen at the Division IV level. They got the ball. It went down court like 2 passes in the basket. Matt Tabor did a great job with that team as they went all the way to state that year. The year before they lost in the regional finals, but they were able to cash in and go to state. Coach Tabor, there's another turnover, 19 turnovers. Bubby Knight finishes. He has 15. Matt Tabor, a very successful run. He went to his alma mater, Elida. In the offseason, he was 209 and 114. Johnny Nixon with a basket. Timeout Wildcats. Timeout, as always, all year, brought to you by Precision Strip, and we'll step away on NKTelco Sports.
Winners Meats. Quality meats for 4 generations. Hoagie Lumber. Hilsman Automotive.
Are you looking for a new career with amazing growth potential? NKTelco Press and Automation is hiring for many positions right now. NKTelco is a global company that is growing with its sights on being $1 billion company. Machinists, service technicians, human resource personnel, IT specialists, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, and many more. The opportunities abound at NKTelco Press and Automation. Go to minsterjobs.com now to get started on your new career with NKTelco.
Coming back after the Precision Strip timeout. Perry with the ball, Bobby Knight to the hole. He'll be fouled on the way to the hoop. Be interesting, keep an eye on Perry the rest of the season. I'm not positive. Sometimes they're in the same district as Minster. Don't know for a fact if they will or not. I'll try to look it up. They're sometimes in the same Walpock district. That's stolen away. If they are, that'll make a pretty tough sectional even tougher. You got to figure New Bremen's probably the number 1 seed, or actually New Bremen or Marion Local between the two of them. Both having great seasons. There's another turnover, 20 now in Minster. After that, probably Fort Recovery would come in the mix after that, so I'll try to look up here. As that will go out of bounds. It'll be a turnover. Pass ahead to Wellman. Niemeyer has an opening that's tipped away. Minster will be in action on Friday, a home game. They'll be announcing their Booster of the Year, as we will have that game streamed on NKT.TV. Turnaround by Niemeyer. It's always a big rivalry between Marion and Minster, and there's a foul. Simpson goes down hard. Marion having a great year under former assistant and actually current Minster teacher Kurt Guttemiller. He was an assistant here for about 10 years. I think he's been head coach over Marion Local about, I want to say, 11 years. So had that state championship back in 2018, and he'll come back to Minster School to bring his Flyers. Only lost a couple games all year. Knocked off Botkins to give Botkins their only loss. All right, here, Aiden Simpson hits the first foul shot. Simpson with 9. Elijah Cottle into the game. Simpson makes this, and he does. He's the third Commodore in double figures. Bubby Knight with 15. Joey Hurston with 14. And a full timeout. You're watching high school basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
All Glaze and Sydney Audiology are committed to providing the most advanced and affordable hearing care solutions.
Did you know that more and more insurances are offering coverage for hearing needs and that we are the most comprehensive provider in the area?
Because we want to serve all in our community, we partner with agencies such as Medicaid, OOD, Sertoma, and most recently the VA, helping our veterans find local solutions to their problems.
Don't leave unused benefits on the table this year. Call us today to see if you qualify.
Welcome back from this precision strip timeout. I was trying to look up, and Perry was in the Walpock District last year, and there's another 10-second count. That Perry defense, they were in last year, got knocked off by St. Henry. They ended up losing to New Bremen in the district final, so I assume Perry will be in the same Walpock district, so Minster could play them again if they both qualify, or they could play in the sectional the way they see things now at the district level. As in the sectional rounds, the higher seed, or the better seed, with a bye, or a home game, is Brady Yinks knocks it up. Yinks with 7 off the bench, Hurston with 14, so, and Moore and Cotter with there, so you add that all up, that's about 22 points, I think. As Austin Wellman with the basket. 2.5 to go. You can say Perry will now go to 11-2 on the season. The Wildcats will fall to 4-11. A little bit of a slow start for Perry. They were like 11-8 after one. It was 19-18 at halftime as anybody's game, but then the third quarter, they outscored the Wildcats 27-14 to make it a 14-point game and blow open. Showed their athleticism, showed their shooting. Joey Hurston, 11 points or 10 points in the third quarter. 2 of them on threes. Turnaround by Simpson. Steffi with the board. Pushing the tempo. Gives it up to Repker. Wildcats with their starters in completely right now. See if Coach McClure decides to pull them out. As Nixon, another basket. Nixon now with 13 points. Coach McClure with a 30-second timeout. Mind you that our 5-star recruitment sponsor is Crown Equipment Corporation. MVP sponsors Clopay and Nidec Minster. Keys to the game were brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. Starting lineup sponsored by Sydney All Glaze Audiology. All our timeouts sponsored all season long by Precision Strip, as well as our stats and recap sponsored by Wagner's IGA. Our live view sponsor here in Minster is Borchers Floor Center. I'll pick a player of the game sponsored by NKTelco. On our First National Bank scoreboard, the Perry Commodores lead the Minster Wildcats 58-42. Everybody who has been in the ball game for Perry has scored. That's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players have scored. Minster, all 6 players have scored. So everybody who's set foot on the floor tonight has scored, which is very rare, especially when you have 9 players in for Perry. That's impressive. They have some nice bench players in Yinks and Hurston, and a good hustle play by Wellman. But they give it right back. Bubby Knight, what a layup. Exciting player, Bobby Knight, gives his Perry Commodores 60 points as they come off a 10-day layoff and a tough week with the coaching change, but they look strong here. Devin Webker drains the three. Devin Webker with 12 points. Head to Yinks to the hole, followed by Brady Yinks and in. Brady Yinks with 9 off the bench. Wellman swatted away. Webker shoot another three. We're down to 42 seconds. This Tuesday night affair. Bobby Knight. Shots keep coming. Hurston to follow. Hurston with 16 points off the bench. Impressive. 30-second timeout. I'll go through some of these scoring here. We have 17 by Knight. Hurston with 16 points. Simpson with 10. Brady Yinks with 9. Riley with 5. Will Knight with 2. Ryan Yinks with 2. Elijah Cottle with 2. Cameron Moore with 1. For Minster, Johnny Nixon with 13 points. Devin Webker with 12. Brogan Steffi with 8. Austin Wellman with 4. Zach Fortman with 4. James Niemeyer with 4. Steffi brings it up. Niemeyer will try to drive, loses his footing. Nixon will try a three again. Pass up ahead to Moore. Give it up to Cottle. Wellman will get the rebound. That will end it. Your final score on the First National Bank scoreboard. Perry 64, Minster 45. Take a short break here and we'll wrap it up here on NKTelco Sports.
Lift your career to new heights with Crown, an innovative global leader in the material handling industry with over a 75-year history of growth and success. We're seeking career-minded candidates for a wide variety of entry-level and skilled positions in our new Bremen, New Knoxville, Salina, Minster, and other U.S. locations. Visit crown.jobs to apply or find us on social media by searching Careers at Crown.
Clopay Corporation, America's favorite garage door, is now hiring for all manufacturing and over-the-road Class A CDL driving positions. Clopay is the largest residential garage door manufacturer in North America, and we are continuing to grow. Join our team and work in a safe, clean, modern environment. Clopay offers a great benefits package as an equal opportunity employer and a drug-free work environment. Imagine the possibilities when you open the door to your career at clopay.com/careers.
Welcome back here to the Wagner's IGA Stats and Recap on a Tuesday night here. Perry travels down from Lima, and they started out a little bit slow, but they pulled away in the third quarter, and they win their 11th win against 2 losses. They defeat the Minster Wildcats 64-45 on our First National Bank scoreboard. For the Perry Commodores, they were led by Bobby Knight with 17 points, followed by Joey Hurston with 16 points off the bench, Aiden Simpson with 10, Brady Yinks with 10 off the bench, Terry Riley with 5, Ryan Yinks and Will Knight both with 2 apiece, Elijah Cottle with 2, Cameron Moore with 1. The Commodores was 7 for 10 on their foul shots. They only had 10 turnovers. For the Wildcats, they had 6 different players score, led by Johnny Nixon with 13 points, Devin Webker with 12, Brogan Steffi with 8, Niemeyer and Wellman and Fortman both with 4 points apiece. Wildcats 9 of 12 from the field, but they had 22 turnovers. That was the downfall of the Wildcats compared to just 10 for the Commodores. Score by quarter, Perry 11-8 after 1. They led by 19-18 at halftime. And they broke it open, scored 27 points in the third quarter. They led 46-32 after 3, and after final score, Perry 64, Minster 45. Perry again 11-2, and Minster is now 4-11. They will host Marion Local. We will have that game streamed on NKTelco Sports. Minster will travel to Pandora Gilboa this Saturday to host the former Minster coach Mike Lee, who's in his third year there at Pandora Gilboa. Our player of the game, sponsored by NKTelco Sports, goes to an NKTelco team player. That will be Devin Webker for Minster, our player of the game tonight. Devin with 12 points. He had 2 threes in the fourth quarter. He had 4 free throws in a row in the second quarter. 6'1" junior Devin Webker, our player of the game here on NKTelco Sports. Well, I hope you enjoyed our broadcast. We appreciate you watching. I'm Dave Kanapke. Thanks for watching on NKTelco Sports.